Hello and welcome to Food is Fuel. I am Tracy and I'm your host. And today, what we are talking about is the saving money, food pairing, and portion control. Like, how can we get through our day, micros and macros? I just think of micros found in fruits and vegetables, like vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, and amino acids. The macros are the fat, protein, and carbs. Pretend you're looking at a train. The train called the micro train. The coal of the train is our macros. You cannot successfully transport fat, carb, protein to the spot where you need without the micros. If we could only consume more micros, we would have less stress in the body, more fat burning, such as, vitamin C, vitamin E, as well as a better mental health overall, good health. Now, micros, we can quickly go over this category and the foods found in each. Let's talk about amino acids essentials like leucine and lysine. Leucine is an essential to take while fasting when you are decreasing that caloric intake so the body doesn't think that it's in starvation mode. It stabilizes the blood sugar, stimulates protein synthesis in muscle. It's important for those who suffer from shakes from like alcohol. You hear about TDs. This helps if you um, are not gaining excessive weight, if you're trying to reduce the caloric intake for whatever reason. And I don't use the word diet because it has the word die in it. So we want to say lifestyle changes. Lysine and vitamin C together, let's talk about pairing, help create collagen for a youthful look. Can't have one without the other. So you have the saggy skin combo. When you combine foods like meat and grains, chicken, quinoa, or fish and beans, or eggs and grains, milk and chocolate, milk chocolate, right? You're combining lysine and arginine, non-essential rich foods that will help with weight loss, immune system, hormone stabilization, and helps with like herpes simplex outbreaks. So combining non-essential and essential amino acids are important. Foods such as seeds, nuts, like meat, which contain your vitamin B, are important, especially think about if you're vegan or vegetarian and you need to take in more of the wheat germ or brewer's yeast. They have an abundance of B vitamins, but also it helps to take a B complex if needed. So consult your doctor. You need to have blood work done so that you know how much you need. You don't want to, if you overdo it, it's not a big deal. It will exit the body. This B vitamins and C vitamins are important for stress relief as well as your breathing techniques, which we talk about a lot. The 4 count in, hold 4, and 4 count out. Other foods like eggs, white cheeses such as mozzarella, feta cheese, not heavily processed, not heavily high in sodium like your yellow cheeses, which can raise your blood pressure. Should be avoided, especially if you have high blood pressure to begin with. People who suffer from things such as fatty liver should take in more legumes, soy, peanuts, eggs, and fish. Grains such as quinoa, millet, and rice. Of course, here we go back to wheat germ, brewer's yeast. And if you are, have any issues with, um, stomach issues, you are need to watch. And again, what do you need, right? Amazingly, about wheat germ and oats, these two have nutrients that are the only one which contains fen, which can cross the blood-brain barrier and help with the balance of the chemistry in the brain, such as clear mind to reducing headaches and even back pain. Basically, I have some of these foods um, daily. Put it in your oats, wheat germ, brewer's yeast, seeds, nuts. My daughter puts those together in her oatmeal in the morning, and she has autism, and I noticed a huge difference in her mental health through the day, like from the get-go. You have fish, eggs, beans, grains, chocolate, cheese, milk, almond milk. Hence, it has both the nutrients of a milk and nut. Double the goodness, right? We have turkey, which is tryptophan. It's a calming method. And when you add turkey to and a pineapple, causes the body to create calcium naturally. So you get the right amounts and absorption, which is key. Egg yolk is important for healthy cholesterol numbers and protects the nerve endings. Other amino acids, we have the body as the kinetic system of which consists of skeletal, muscular, nervous system that work together. You can't have one without the other, right? Your bones, muscles, nervous system. And did you know that you have fat in your bone marrow? If you didn't have fat in your body, let's say like your body's hungry, starving, like super starving, you haven't eaten in a while, it will actually take in fat from the bone marrow to keep you alive until you can get extra fat, get more fat in. And so, there you go, right? Now, it's important minerals: calcium, vitamin D, magnesium. Now, osteoporosis, especially in women, is a serious matter, and it's more prone in women as you age because of pregnancy, and we sap our bodies pretty good. As you age, you need to increase your calcium to match um, about 13 to 2,000 milligrams. People age differently. People have different things going on. So prevention is key, and it is less expensive to get in front of it than it is when you're behind the situation. Like anything, you don't want to be in front of the boulder, you want to be behind the boulder so you don't get run over. So like your car needs regular maintenance. When you go for an oil change, they do a diagnostic test. Same with your body. Every year you need to go for a diagnostic test, right? What is your physical? Calcium depletion, a can of Coke can cause basically is a can of cellulite and osteoporosis. The sodium carbonate contains or creates larger fat cells. It also breaks down bones. So I don't understand why runners drink a Coke or swear by drinking a Coke prior to a marathon. That has never worked for me, and I don't recommend it. You are depleting yourself of protein and carbs, like it is pulling it out. Depending on what you need, depending on your milligrams and the amount of each nutrient, a mineral, an amino acid, etc., you got to really look at that. Basically, the food groups like vegetable, fruit, grains, fat, protein, it's how you operate. Really look at it and flip the food triangle upside down. So your carbs are kind of more, and then the fat is the least, depending on what you need. So again, really look at the next day. What are you going through? What do you need? Focus on those things. Vegetables are 3 to 4 cups a day. Fruit, 2 to 3 cups a day. Sounds like a lot, but it doesn't take much. It literally um, grapes. Easy. It's so easy to get your 3 cups in, or 2 cups in. It helps, you have fiber, you have nutrients, you have this, you know, absorptions that are going to help with absorptions. You have your protein, fat, and everything has these micros and macros that are nutritious, right? So keep the mindset of the micros first, and then, you know, macros are in them naturally anyways. So just think about that. Vitamin D is very essential, and, you know, but it's also depleted pretty quickly. Things like too much wine will deplete that vitamin D, which will affect the calcium absorption. So think about what you're doing. So to increase vitamin D, you have almond milk, hemp seed, dark greens. Dark greens have more calcium than milk does. Nuts and seeds have protein and fat. Fat metabolizes protein. It's important to have those two pretty equal on the percentage. So what is fat, carb, and protein? Fat is an essential for the balance of hormones. It cushions. It protects vital organs, healthy brain function, and we need higher amounts of ALA, healthy brain, fats that are transported by the ADEK vitamins. Fat regulates the body temperature, and too much increases and too little decreases. It's important for the nervous system, the heart, the brain, just 60% fat or more. It is muscle that we need to consistently replace the fat loss because we keep burning it off because we're burning fat, we're using it. Like right now, I'm using it. We have saturated, unsaturated, polyunsaturated, processed fats. So in my ebook that's on my website at tracyknight.com, you can get that information. It can get a little confusing, so break it down. And this is what that ebook does for you: as essential fatty acids, your EFA, you have your omega-6, which is your safflower, soybean, sunflower, corn, wheat germ, sesame. Omega-3 is your flaxseed, canola, pumpkin, walnut, soybean, fish, which is also, that one contains EPA and DHA. We need a 2-to-1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 for a healthy heart. Also, it has been, studies show now, 3-to-1 ratio, 3-to-6 for a healthy heart. Of course, your meats are to be consumed, depending on what you're doing, your blood type. It could be as little as 1 time a month to 4 times a year to 4 times a week. So personally, I go for the bison, more clean meats. Chicken, coconut oil, yogurt, butter, milk, beef, pork, lamb are saturated fats. So just remember, foods like this in large amounts at one time increase the fat cell and create cellulite when paired with sodium, kind of like the French fry thing. Avocado, walnuts, salmon for dinner would be a wiser choice, with dark greens like spinach or romaine salad with balsamic vinaigrette, and feta cheese. It's perfect because at the end of the day, when we need not just all these carbs, but we do need fuel that's necessary to get these nutrients in our body, and then about 60 to 80 calories per hour while we sleep for our breakfast time. Some people don't get but a few hours of sleep, which is not great, and I've been one of those. But you also think if you want to lose weight, you need to get some sleep as well. So your body, you just put it through trauma, and we don't want that, like a flight or fight system, right? So it doesn't know when the body, if you're like, doesn't know when it's going to eat again. So when I work with people, I like to start with dinner and then work from there. Our dinner sets the precedence on how we will consume breakfast. Many people who consume nine out of 10 will be ill from eating, so to speak. Like they're like, I don't want breakfast. It's too much because I had so much at dinner. Now, breakfast should be more of a protein carb combo. For example, oatmeal. Like I said before with my daughter, you have a fat, your protein, your grain. I wouldn't do a fruit, but if you do a fruit, it's like blueberries, very low glycemic food. But I do like to add like a nut butter, like an almond or a peanut butter with cinnamon. So then it will slow down the sugars that go through the system. It's best to have not um, the quick oats because quick oats are higher glycemic. We got to remember that part. So another good choice would be like eggs, tortilla, or flatbread with nut spread or an avocado, egg, toast, something of that nature. Salsa and eggs is great because it contains vitamin C and the fat. And so, rule of thumb, when you consume a high glycemic breakfast, such as breads or oatmeal, and then snack, um, right after that, it should be like a vegetable snack because it's a low glycemic, not like juice or, um, you know, things. But maybe around, say, like if you eat at 6, then around 10, have like half an apple with maybe some peanut butter. The combo of the nuts and the raw veg. The apple will help burn the fat, increase metabolism, and keep your brain functioning at maximum capacity. Clear your mind for the morning instead of reaching for a coffee every hour, trying to stay up again in front of the wall, but that doesn't help. Instead, you need to use foods that will help, like your wheat germ, your apple, your fruit, um, veggies like carrots would be a better choice. More is completed at work, but you know, there's a $1 billion issue in corporations due to inactivity of a balanced day than anything else. Between this and sick days, companies are having to downsize overall, affecting job security. And so when we work together and people are healthy and share information and work and have programs like wellness programs, it will help actually secure their job a little bit more too because they're thinking more clearly. Lunches, protein and carb, dark greens, fruit, grilled veggies with like a salad, salsa, squeeze a little orange with cheese slices, garbanzo beans. It's perfect. Good fruit. I mean, you have good protein choices. And in a couple hours, have a snack like yogurt or cheese slices or a handful of nuts in the afternoon. Just throw some nuts in your hand and pop them and keep going because the nuts is brain food. And we got to keep our brain growing and going because remember, we're burning fat from the brain. And dinner's the smallest meal, but before dinner, consume like water. If you could, like 8 ounces of water, and that will help fill you so that you're not eating so much at dinner, and that will help. So if you have, so that helps increase your metabolism as well before, so that you can burn fat consumed and decrease the amount of carbs. You'll find the craving for the reds that will decrease during this time as well. So think of the American portion, the SAD diet, so to speak. A plate of spaghetti contains 8 ounces. It's the average, like 1 cup. And so 2 ounces times 8 is 44 grams of carbohydrate. You have your 200 calories. You have 1,600 calories just for the pasta. You haven't even tried, I mean, you haven't even gone for the marinara or anything else yet, or the salad. But think how much right there you've technically consumed 1,600 calories at dinner that typically you're given for the day. So I don't do a pasta load before a race. I think it's too much on the body, and so I go light, and in the morning, or I just like it's rice, beans, salsa, avocado, you know, or it depends on the race, marathon versus a 5K. But again, we need to look at what we're doing the next day as to how we fill our bodies. I definitely focus on vitamin C and vitamin B for energy. My typical meal would be like salmon, cream spinach, side of rice, beans. The second day, um, so like going into and then breakfast would be omelet, cheese, a fourth of an ounce of spinach and rice, beans. And then you go into the third day with the rice and beans with salsa and avocado. So you see how I'm building this, because pasta creates too much sugars and it causes the possibility of dehydration and diarrhea actually. So after a hard workout or a race, I consume thinking of and focusing on B, zinc, iron, niacin, calcium, vitamin C. My zinc is going to come from my pumpkin seeds and oysters. Niacin is a wheat germ, quinoa, brewer's yeast. Calcium, dark greens, green beans. They can be canned as well. Almond milk, cheese, and dairy. Of course, your typicals. And your vitamin C, your apple, kiwi, your red bell peppers, which has the highest. Red bell pepper has the highest amount in that. Now, I want to do some quick health points. Metabolism is increased by water, sleep, and vinegar-based foods. Sleep reduces stress and promotes weight loss and heals cells. We want a smart, quick breakfast choice, right? 12 grams of protein, 15 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fat. Your glycemic load, your glycemic index is important to understand. It helps with weight loss, heart disease, and diabetes. Glycemic index is the amount found in the food at the time of digest, which moves through the body at a particular pace. Fast sugars, which would be your breads, your white sugars, and some fruits. Slow sugars is going to be your grains, your veggies, and fats. Zinc aids in digestion of carbs, proteins, and important hormones, which wards away mosquitoes actually. Vitamin B and C, vitamins that are destroyed by stress and are most essential to reduce stress in the body. Now, a couple of things that you would like to have in your kitchen, basic kitchen needs. It's just simple things like pots and pans, a quart pot with a lid, right? You want a strainer. Strainers are good to have. You have a chef knife. You want an 8, or I get both. So chef knife is 8 to 10 to 8 ounce. Listen to me. 8 or 10 inches. A paring knife, 4 to 6 inches. Serrated knife, which is great for slicing breads, right? Tomatoes. You want a sharp knife, about 8 inches. And of course, you want the knife to be the width, length. We have the length for the cutting board. Want to make sure your cutting boards match your knives. You have for mixing, you have a bake, you want to make sure that you have a good, I would get about 5 bowls, large, medium, small, extra small. One to whisk eggs in, makes it easy. I would get a instant read thermometer. They're very inexpensive. They're less than $10. And I would even get mixing bowls that have lids to them. So that way, like beignets, things that you can kind of prep and just for the next morning or dinner, I would do that. All right, an easy recipe that super easy. You can do it tonight. Take some chicken breast. You could take a third cup of fat-free, like Italian, like dressing or balsamic vinaigrette, and marinate that for about 30 minutes in a boneless chicken breast, and it's ready to go. So really easy to put together. And you have it at 350 degrees in a 9 by 13 inch pan, which is definitely a pan that you want. And you have brownies, you have obviously casseroles. Those are definitely used everywhere for lots of dishes. And then make sure you allow the chicken to stand for at least 10 minutes. It's still cooking, but the juices redistribute through the meat, which will help with the flavors. And a serving size calories is about 172 calories. The sodium is a little high, so fat free, but watch your sodium. I like to make my own Italian dressing to control sodium and flavors. So just think of that. And you're good there. So also, one thing is like, let's talk about where, like, why do we use the ingredients we use? Honey. You want to use it local. It's immune booster, natural energy booster. It may help reduce the risk of cancers, tumors, helps promote healthy hair, helps with digestion, weight loss, and it lowers cholesterol. So pumpkin seeds, great for healthy prostate, improves bladder function, anti-depressant, lowers cholesterol, prevention of cancers, prevention of osteoporosis, increases bone density. It's rich in zinc, increases sex drive, anti-inflammatory, helps with tapeworms and other parasites. It's high in magnesium and high in protein. And hey, if you want to put a little sweet potato with your chicken tonight, that promotes healthy bones, prevention of degenerative diseases, prevention of heart attacks, high in vitamin C, boosts the immune system, helps with stress, antidepressant, healthy skin, mood stabilizer, and supports a healthy thyroid gland. Just a thought on those items. And so I'm going to post that chicken recipe was pretty simple. So don't need to necessarily post that, but I am going to post another type of recipe um, on my blog or my website at Tracy Knight, TraciKnight.com. And I hope this has helped today. And I'm going to post a ginger post, rather, believe it or not, and talk about ginger. And I am working on just giving you some information around the world. I've got some new recipes coming out, and also in my classes. So if you'd like to take my classes, it's there. If you'd like to support my recovery mode and for the cancer journey, GoFundMe, there is a link to that. Um, and I posted this morning on where I'm at in that journey as well. So, and then next week we're going to talk about the difference of steaming, baking, roasting for your veggies, what the nutrients, the profile, why we add seasoning at different times of cooking. So we're going to go into some science of, actually not next week, I'm going to shoot for Friday and really get these posts out there for you because I feel that you might benefit from them. And if you have any feedback, suggestions, etc., let me know. You can email me at contact tracyknight.com. So contacts, CONTACT, if I spelled that right, contact at tracyknight.com. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hope your drive time going home is beautiful. Just remember, dinner can be ready in about 30 minutes to an hour. It can be ready from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on what you're making, how you're preparing, what you want to do. If you want to take one of my classes, feel free. And I want to thank everyone who has taken my class and continue to support this channel. Take care.